Welcome back to Chengdu, China for the Women's World Cup race. The women are competing over the Olympic distance at the Jingtang Tri Centre today. The weather conditions have got slightly worse since the men's race earlier today. You can see in the background the wind has picked up, a few spots of rain, but we've got a strong women's field here contending today for the winning Chengdu. My name's Helen Jenkins. I'm joined by Annie Emerson. What do you think of the field today, Annie?
Oh, I think it's really exciting, Helen. There's still so much to play for with it being an Olympic year, but I'm really excited to see Julie Derren racing. I think she's in brilliant form. Alicia Beto as well, had a baby 18 months ago and is going from strength to strength. And obviously there we have the start list.
I mean, names to look for: Nicole van der Kay, Xinyu Lin as well, though. Real chance to get a Chinese woman on the podium today, coming into the race ranked second. The two Italians, Beto and Zane. Selena Clampton, World Under-23 champion from last year. There's some really strong contenders. Oh, that was like somebody went early then.
That was a quick start. That was a fast start. Let's just hope she didn't jump the gun. I didn't actually pick out who it was, but she either went on the gun or a fraction before, and we know that does mean that the athlete will incur a penalty. We may have a replay, we may not, but we'll keep you informed in that one. I would say, Helen, they held them on the start line for quite a long time.
It did, yeah. There was, and you could really see the rain coming down then, couldn't you? So the athletes definitely in not such good conditions as the men had earlier. So the 1,500 metre swim today, two 750 metre laps. But we can see those two athletes have really got away quite quickly, haven't they? An incredibly fast start.
At the moment, Helen, this is quite a remarkable gap.
Amazing, yeah. And first thing is just incredibly strong. She's taken it out really well, and this is pretty much what Bianca Seregni did last year. It's just she's such a strong swimmer, and pretty much the same thing. I think this is the kind of course that really allows these swimmers to get away and really if you get clear water at the start, and Michlikova hasn't been able to go with her. We look further back, there's quite a big mass all close together. It was Michlikova in second. So when we saw that shot of the large group, it was Janet Bragmeier was kind of on the far left of the group. Oh wow, look how much time she's got. No one's even exited the water yet. Absolutely incredible swimming.
Last year's swim time was obviously Bianca Seregni, who we've been talking about, was a 19:24. I think this one's going to be a little bit quicker today, as that Tilda Manson coming out of the water.
Yeah, that's Manson, so great swim from her. She's not a bad swimmer, but we don't often see her that high up. I just saw
Julie Derren's gone out.
Lottie Miller's right in the middle of that group, so Lottie Miller, a really strong cyclist.
I don't know if I've seen a gap as big as this.
No, incredibly. When we look back at the field as well, there was one athlete really far off to the right. Looked like they've gone slightly off course, so hopefully they'll kind of join back into that main pack when they hit this buoy.
Just saw there an example of that. There we go, looking up, just checking that she's on track for the exit and hasn't veered off course. Lovely stroke though, Helen.
I know,
Beautiful.
Lovely. It's a pleasure to watch, isn't it? It always is with these swimmers that are at the front of the race. Wow, look at that, out of transition before anyone else has exited, before anyone else entered transition. That's amazing.
There we go, 50 seconds. It's just popped up on our timing.
Amazing. So yeah, doubled her lead again. Wen Wei from China up there. She's coming out second. So good swim from her.
Well, Ferzinger's, I think, decided just to get her head down a ride. And
yeah, I think that's the best option, isn't it? You don't have to go max effort. You know, there's a different effort. There's a strong effort, controlled effort, or there's the one where you're chasing, where it's all out because that's what you have to do. So there's Darren. I think it's really important for those athletes to know where those strong riders are, because if you're coming out behind them, you really need to be on it, because you cannot let them get away, because you know there's no coming back.
It's all about Teresa Ferzinger since the beginning of this race. Let's see what the advantage is now, but it was a pretty good one after the first swim, but she is out there on her own, and we know there is a chase pack which we imagine will be trying to work together to pull back some of that deficit. There's Derren from Switzerland. We thought there was going to be another pack, didn't we? Lottie Miller is in there as well. Alicia Beto, Home is in there.
Slupek's in there as well. So that's some strong athletes in there. So these are the athletes who haven't made that jump across.
And they're just 22 seconds down now from Versinger. So Holm's in there from Denmark, Beto's in there.
Yeah, it's a shame for Van der Kay she hasn't made that jump over, because she was right up there and she's running really well.
But I think Julie Derren is in some really, really good form at the moment.
Really strong athlete. I said the weakness, if there is one, is probably the swim. Maybe not consistently a front pack athlete, especially when you throw in like the really top swimmers at the World Champ Series level. But with her biking ability, quite often she's able to keep herself into or get herself back towards that front pack. There you go, look, a bit more organised at the front now. Everyone rolling through, taking turns. 40 seconds now.
Yeah, so they were 20 seconds and now they've drifted back to 40 seconds. They were 40 seconds from the leader, 20 seconds from this pack that contained Sterren, but that was a few minutes ago, and now that time difference has drifted out to another 40 seconds.
And they're being caught by the larger chase group now. They're kind of 12 seconds behind them, so that gap's come down a little bit as well. So
and that's not what you want, is it?
No, it looks like we could end up with that front group just gaining more and more time, and the larger group.
And looks like they've all pretty much joined forces, and we've got one big pack now behind our leaders. Derren seems to be doing a lot of the work though, but I think that will be typical from a Swiss athlete. I mean, I think if we look back to the days of when her teammate Nicola Spirik was winning Olympics and things like that, she also was raced. I think very few people knew in 2012 she'd raced at 70.3, something like 2 weeks before she won the gold medal there.
And Julie Derren used to train with Nicola Spirik, didn't she?
Exactly.
So she's learned from the best, really, there.
And it's the chase group now that comes over the blue carpet. It's a big, big group, well and truly spread out.
Just looking for this time gap. From minute 7 it was, so what is it now? Minute 20.
Yeah, there was the bell for the final lap.
Manson's done really well, hasn't she? She's sat in this group, she's taken all the turns she needs to. I'd say really contributed a lot. Doesn't look like she's slowed anything down.
No, not at all. I mean, she has really raced like a seasoned pro, hasn't she?
Yeah.
No, I think it's the Italian athletes that, for me, who've been playing it very tactically, particularly Alice Beto, who for me is one of the quicker runners, I think, in here. She's possibly done the least amount of work. She runs out of transition now, but it is Derren that leads the way, chased down by Alice Beto, and then home there on her shoulder.
Darley up there as well, just coming out into 4th position. But Derren really got a fast transition there, didn't she? She wasn't the first one in, but really smooth, really quick. And she struggled actually to get the bike into the rack. So very good considering that. 1:25, so no, they didn't lose too much more time.
Derren out in front. No sighting yet. 2 Italian athletes there, Ilaria Zane and Lelicio Beto, but looking for the young Swedish athlete Tilda Manson.
And she'll come through, though. I think, and mainly seen her race well over sprint distance, but it doesn't, just because she's not up there straight away, she does tend to kind of come through strong as the race goes on.
Roxana Slupek from Poland, as you were just saying, they're 6th last week in Wollongong down in Australia. Just over a week ago, these athletes were racing down there.
I'd say also from this group, we had Anne Holm and Versinger. Just a little, they've slipped a bit further off the pace, haven't they? They're still up there, just saw Holm there in the distance, but I would say they might be worried about the athletes coming from behind, because like we mentioned Bravo earlier, she does go extremely well. Probably in the hotter conditions, she is where she has her better races. And Van der Kay's shown excellent running already in Katera this year.
Is Derren pulling away ever so slightly from the Polish athlete? I think she is. There appears to be daylight between the Swiss and the Polish athlete now. Only ever so slightly, but she seems to be pulling away.
Yeah, slightly. And here's some of the runners we talked about, wasn't it? Van der Kay, Bravo, Velasquez is up there too.
So Derren now deciding just to push on and pick up the pace. And I think even when an athlete like Derren is out in front here and she has such a commanding lead, you could say, well, she could sit up, but I think this is an opportunity for her to push on and have a really hard 10K. And imagine perhaps you had some other other athletes as strong as you running alongside, and what would you have left in the tank? So I think Darren deciding to not sit up on this one and just enjoy the last 5K as almost a victory lap, and she's really pushing on and seeing what time she can get overall.
And look, there's Tilda Manson, she's up to Slupak, so the gap had come down, hadn't it? But she's there. I mean, I don't think she's going to have enough to get to Darren now. Darren just looks so good, doesn't she, and strong.
Stomping down the carpet. She's not letting off at all.
There's the smile as well. What a smile too. Brilliant finish from her.
Wow, she's happy with that.
Time to enjoy the crowd. What a race there from Julie Darren. Cycled her way back into it, and what a run. She just built her way through that run. Absolutely incredible. And look how far ahead she is.
Well, you'd have to put your money on Tilda as the track runner to beat the young Polish athlete in the sprint here. But that said, she's not giving in, is she?
No, she's not. She's right there on the shoulder. Manson has got a sprint. We've seen it before. She's opened up a little gap. Can Slupak respond?
Wow, right on the front of her toes, isn't she? What a brilliant finish for the young Swedish athlete. First last week, but second this week in her best ever Olympic distance result, really.
I mean, back-to-back World Cup podium, a win and then a silver medal. That's absolutely, at 19 years old, what a future Tilda Manson has. And Roxana Slupak, they're the little fist bump. She's got to be happy with that, especially after her tricky last year.
Yeah.
It's so good to see an athlete come through and on the floor, absolutely spent.
She deserved that, every single bit of it.
The final margin was big, but you had to work hard out there today.
Yeah, definitely. I was really happy where I came out of the swim, and then I just went for it at the start of the bike and saw who was around me. We had a group, especially Anne. She was motivating us all really well to just to keep going. And when we saw the gap getting bigger and bigger, it was just so motivating. And then onto the run, and I felt just like my legs were there all the way. So that was a pretty special day.
Therese sure made you work hard on those first laps. You must have been kind of knocked out by how much she was able to put in and how much you had to do to get back on her wheel.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, oh wow, she had a really good swim, but we worked well, and I knew that we could catch her. And then once we caught her, we just kept going and extending. Yeah, I knew there were good runners in the group, so we just kept it hard on the bike and onto the run. And I had a great run. I had to laugh halfway through the run. I already had a lead, but my coach was saying, keep going, you need the training. So I was like, okay, I can't let up now. So that was really special to have him here and to show the work we've been doing over the last many months.
A couple of boxes still to tick before Paris is confirmed, but to be asking that of your body, to see the way it's responded out there on the Olympic distance, you must be delighted.
Yeah, it was a really special day, so I'm so happy to be back on the World Cup podium, and to take the win is even more special, especially here in China, where I've been training for the last few months.
Tilda Manson, silver medalist, back on the podium, but you're first in Olympic distance, so you must be thrilled.
Yeah, very nice to do it good in an Olympic distance this year. Yeah, very happy.
I think we have to talk about that swim. Did you surprise yourself? You were coming out, I think, second or third at the turn.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I didn't know. I heard Hampus, my brother and coach, he screamed like, "Oh, you're third." I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, but it was so funny. I really worked on the swim, and so funny that it showed today. It was really good to have this result today. Hopefully I will make it to Paris now.
An emotional finish. You're having a moment there. Tell us what's going through your mind. First World Cup podium.
I'm sorry, I'm probably very swollen right now. I was thinking about where I was physically and mentally last year, so it was very emotional moment for me. And I'm very ambitious in my everyday work, but on the finish, when I was going second and third, I actually didn't care, what place I'm gonna get. I think I never really believed I'm gonna achieve podium at this level of racing, so it's not ambition, but I was already happy with being third, very emotional moment for me today.
Tell us what was going on over the last 12 months and a year ago that gave you the reserves to dig in so hard today.
Yeah, last year I couldn't really race. I was injured and I had some mental issues as well, and that was probably the hardest time in my life. And yeah, then I never really gave up and came back to training, to my physical health, mental health, and yeah, I was surrounded by amazing people. Thank you, guys, and yeah. I wish to have all of my friends, my two coaches, and yeah, all of people that are cheering for me with me right now. I wish to share this moment with them, and yeah, I'm very talkative, but I feel speechless right now.
We can't wait to see what's next for you. Well done.
Thank you.
Oh, lovely interviews there. You see what it means to each of the different athletes, and like we said, Julie Daron kind of pushing on there for the training and the time. Just seen there, 51 seconds ahead of Tilda Manson in the end. Roxana Slupek with her first ever World Cup podium in third. Ilaria Zane beating out Alice Beto in the battle of the Italians. Great runs from Bravo and Van de Kay. Yolanda Annan, another Swiss in the top 10. Barbara de Koenig and Erica Ackerland there rounding out the top 10.
Julie Daron.
Yeah, 50 seconds, I mean, that's a huge margin, isn't it? Even in an Olympic distance. So incredible performance from her.
Yeah, very comfortable victory indeed.
Very sensibly, the officials are running away. We'll leave you there with pictures of the champagne celebration. Thank you so much for joining us, from myself and Annie, from everyone in the production and all the race organisation. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.